Do you have the courage to hear the truth? For centuries, we have been taught that the story of Jesus Christ begins on a cold night in Bethlehem. A manger, a baby, a new beginning. But what if I told you that this is only half the truth? What if I told you that when that child cried for the first time in a feeding trough, that same voice had already echoed through fire, through battlefields, and through eternity itself? Thousands of years earlier, hidden within the pages of history, is a figure who appears again and again and again. Sometimes he walks inside raging fire. Sometimes he stands with a drawn sword and stops entire armies. And sometimes he speaks from the darkness of the universe as the living word. Who was he? Why did fire not burn him in Babylon? Why did Joshua fall to the ground before him? And why did Abraham call him Lord? Tonight, the Bible's deepest mystery is about to be revealed. This is not just a video. This is a journey into eternity, before time. This is not the story of Jesus' birth. This is our first destination is one of the most terrifying places in human history, ancient Babylon. The time is roughly 600 years before the birth of Christ. Babylon was the most powerful empire on earth, ruled by a king whose name alone made nations tremble, Nebuchadnezzar. He trusted not only in his army, but in his gods. On the plain of Dura, he erected a massive golden statue, 90 feet tall, shining so brightly that it blinded the eyes. This was not just an idol. It was human pride, cast in gold. The command was simple. When the music plays, every knee must bow, and anyone who refuses will be thrown into a blazing furnace. That day, thousands gathered. Fear filled the air. The music sounded, and an ocean of humanity collapsed to the ground. Everyone bowed. Everyone, except 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Right. While the world knelt, they would not bow. News reached the king. Nebuchadnezzar burned with rage. Who is the God that will rescue you from my hand? He demanded. That question was about to be answered. The furnace was heated, 7 times hotter than normal, so hot that the soldiers who threw them in were killed by the flames. Bound and helpless, the 3 men fell into the fire. Logic says the story should end here, but the king suddenly stood up in terror. Did we not throw 3 men into the fire? He asked. Yes, O king, his officials replied. Then why do I see 4? They are walking, he said. They are unbound. The fire is not harming them. And the 4th looks like a son of the gods. That single sentence shook theology forever. Who was the 4th man? Not an ordinary angel. He did not speak from the outside. He stood inside the fire. Biblical scholars across centuries have agreed this was a pre-incarnate appearance of Jesus Christ. God did not extinguish the fire because Christ's nature is not to remove us from suffering, but to stand with us inside it. Emmanuel, God with us. Only the ropes burned, nothing else. If Christ walked in fire, did he appear elsewhere? 800 years earlier, on the plains of Jericho, Joshua stood before an impossible wall. Suddenly, he saw a man standing with a drawn sword. Joshua approached him boldly. Are you for us, or for our enemies? The answer shattered human thinking. No. The warrior replied, I am the commander of the Lord's army. Joshua fell face down, and something extraordinary happened. The commander accepted worship. Angels never do that. Then he spoke words, spoken only once before, to Moses at the burning bush. Remove your sandals. The ground you stand on is holy. Ground becomes holy only when God is present. This was not Michael, not Gabriel. This was Christ, not as a lamb, but as a warrior. A reminder, when you stand before walls, you cannot break, the true commander, already stands ahead of you. Now the scene changes. No fire, no sword, just a desert afternoon. Abraham, 99 years old, sat at the entrance of his tent. 3 men approached, not glowing angels, not divine thunder, just men, dusty feet, human form. Yet Abraham ran. He bowed, and to the one in the center, he said, "My Lord." They ate. God ate human food. Only one being does this. Before Bethlehem, Jesus Christ. He spoke promises. He read Sarah's thoughts. He negotiated justice with Abraham. Scripture says, Abraham remained standing before the Lord, not an angel, the Lord. Further back, before Abraham, before Joshua, before Babylon, before stars, before light, before time. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word is not sound. The Word is a person. All things were made through him. When God said, "Let there be light," it was Christ's voice that shattered the void. Let us make man in our image. Father and Son. Jesus was not a reaction to sin. He was part of creation itself. The hands that shaped Adam were the same hands, pierced by nails. In the temple, religious leaders mocked Jesus. "You are not even 50 years old," they said. "And you've seen Abraham?" Jesus answered with eternity itself. Before Abraham was, I am. Not I was. I am. They understood. That is why they picked up stones. Because he claimed the divine name, the fire walker, the warrior commander, the desert visitor, the eternal word, all the same person. Jesus Christ. Dove conclusion, the question. If he stood in fire, then he stands with you now. If he fought battles, then he fights for you now. If he visited tents, then he knocks on hearts today. The mystery is no longer hidden. It has a name, a face, person. The question is not,